I'm alive, Dave. Oh, hi, Houston. We have a podcast. I'm Dave, and I think you understand the reference.
That's right. And I'm Lane at Mission Control, and welcome back to Touring History X, Y, and Z, where we learn that reaching for the impossible is humanity's greatest strength and also our most reliable way of spectacularly disappointing ourselves.
Yes, but before we launch into July 20th's cosmic collection of human achievement and failure, a word from our sponsor, Geary's Rolex Boutiques of Los Angeles.
Dave, I have to stop you again right there.
Okay.
That spacesuit,
It's pretty cool, huh?
the helmet tucked under your arm,
Yeah.
you look like what would happen if Neil Armstrong decided to become a luxury watch salesman and really committed to the brand aesthetic.
I wonder if he was as hot in his spacesuit as I am. I'm honoring today's moon landing anniversary.
Ah, yes, you're honoring something, all right. Very one small step for man, one giant leap for Swiss timekeeping. I'm genuinely concerned about your circulation in that suit. It's not as moisture wicking as yesterday's bike suit, I think.
Yes, it is a giant onesie. So can we please discuss precision timepieces?
Well, okay, absolutely, because Geary's Rolex Boutiques of Los Angeles, when you're making history, you need a watch that can keep up with your delusions of grandeur. With locations in Beverly Hills, Century City, and Santa Monica, they're prepared for both moon landings and earthbound disappointments.
Well, this isn't disappointing because Rolexes are wonderful timepieces. So visit Rolex Boutique Rodeo Drive.com and discover timepieces that are more reliable than most governments and considerably less prone to catastrophic explosion.
We got a big day lined up today, Dave. It's July 20th, and
Ooh.
what really gets me about this date is how perfectly it demonstrates humanity's ability to achieve the impossible while simultaneously failing at the incredibly basic. And it looks like our friend Says So over here is just bursting at the seams. We do have someone calling in with some very relevant memories to
Ooh,
share
let's hear it.
tied to July 20th. So, Says So, what do you have to say on behalf of our listener?
Hi, this is Sarah from Milwaukee. My favorite historical moment is tied to Apollo 11 and July 20th, 1969. And it brings back this really vivid memory every year that I'd like to share. I was 7 years old, and my family was at my grandparents' house for Sunday dinner. My grandpa had this old black and white Zenith TV in the living room, and he made everyone gather around because he said we were going to watch history happen. I remember being annoyed because I wanted to go play outside with my cousins. But then Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon, and my grandpa started crying. I'd never seen him cry before. This man who fought in World War II, who never showed emotion. He just kept saying, "Those boys did it. Those boys actually did it." I didn't understand the magnitude of it then, but seeing my grandfather cry made me realize this was something really important. Every July 20th, I think about that moment and how it felt to witness wonder through his eyes. Thanks for the show. It always makes me remember why history matters.
Wow. Thanks, Sarah. That was a wonderful historical reference, personal and timely. Just like those
Yeah.
Rolex watches at Geary's. But let's
way to
talk.
take way to take real human emotion and monetize it, Dave.
Got to plug. All right, so let's get to birthdays. And, well, a big Brazilian supermodel, Gisele Bundchen, at
Bunchen
45, proving that some people can defy gravity even without rocket fuel. Whoa.
and the late great Carlos Santana at 77, who made guitar solos sound like they were beamed down from another planet.
Oye,
And
¿cómo va?
and actress Natalie Wood, who left us too soon, and Dancing with the Stars champion Julianne Hough at 37.
Plus, Chris Cornell, who we lost in 2017, but whose voice could have powered a rocket to Mars.
Absolutely. And so on to our first event, the
To the
Apollo
moon.
11 moon landing,
That's right.
1969.
Big deal.
July 20th. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin land on the moon at 2017 UTC time. And 6 hours
UTC.
later,
Oh,
UTC, it's a
that sounds
urinary
like
tract
some yeah,
contraction.
I was gonna say, sounds something I don't wanna get.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't. And if you do, get it on the moon and stay there.
Yes,
Um,
please.
don't give it to me.
Lock yourself in a
Anyway.
capsule.
So they land, and then 6 hours later, Armstrong becomes the first human to set foot on another celestial body, proving that sometimes the most audacious promises actually get kept.
That's right. We made it, guys. And here's why this resonates specifically with Gen X. You're the generation that grew up assuming technological miracles were normal, only to spend your entire adult lives watching society forget how to accomplish basic infrastructure projects.
Exactly. We were raised on moon landing footage thinking, cool, so
Cool.
humanity can literally travel to other worlds. And then we entered the workforce to discover that somehow building a functional healthcare website was considered impossible.
Yeah, that took a while, didn't it? Gen X learned that the distance between we put a man on the moon and we can't figure out how to make trains run on time is depressingly short.
Right. We're the generation constantly thinking, if we could coordinate a lunar mission in 1969 with computers less powerful than a modern toaster, why exactly can't we coordinate a pandemic response with the entire internet at our disposal? Hmm?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Gen X developed this very specific form of technological cynicism, not doubting what's possible, but doubting whether institutions will choose to make it happen.
The moon landing became our benchmark for this is what humans can accomplish when we actually try, followed by decades of watching people choose not to try.
Yes, so we're on to the second event of our historical theme
Yes,
here.
we're going from moon landings to what, Dave? Millennials and their lens on.
On trying to assassinate dictators.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
oh my goodness.
Specifically, a guy with a little mustache. July 20th, 1944, Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg.
What a German name. Could there be
Yeah,
anything more German than that? Colonel
I think,
Klaus von Stauffenberg?
yes, monocle not included. Places a bomb in Hitler's briefing room at the Wursler. In the most significant attempt by German military officers to get rid of the little bastard and overthrow the Nazi regime.
Well, I can see your your wheels turning, Dave.
I'm furious.
This is about millennials and institutional resistance, isn't it?
Yes, millennials are the first generation to grow up learning about historical resistance movements while simultaneously watching modern institutions fail to resist obviously dangerous authoritarian trends.
Yes, that's devastating. So Stauffenberg represents everything millennials learned about how you're supposed to stand up to tyranny?
It's von Stauffenberg, Lane.
Oh, sorry.
Millennials studied this plot in school thinking, when the time comes, brave people inside institutions will do the right thing, we hope. And then they lived through decades of watching institutional leaders choose careerism over courage. You know that book, Profiles in Courage?
Mm-hmm.
It's about
Mm-hmm.
people who went against the grain.
Maybe
I
some
don't
will
think
show
there are
up.
many of those left.
You never know, Dave. You push them hard enough, they come out of the woodwork, right?
They
Maybe
fold like paper.
it's like millennials inherited the moral clarity of knowing what resistance looks like, but then had to watch it not happen when they needed it most.
Right. The July plot taught millennials that resistance requires people willing to sacrifice everything for principle. And then they entered a world where most leaders wouldn't sacrifice a dinner reservation for principle.
Millennials learned that the difference between someone should do something and someone actually doing something is usually just someone being willing to lose their job.
That's right. You first. And unlike our space-suited friend here, nice one, most people aren't prepared for the vacuum of unemployment. Oh,
Very nice. The moon landing really brings out your philosophical side.
well, I'd like to hope so. And speaking of things that actually work under pressure, Geary's Rolex watches, my friends. Ho ho! Always dependable. And unlike institutional courage, they're tested in extreme conditions and guaranteed to perform when it really matters.
Geary serves Beverly Hills, Century City, and Santa Monica with Swiss precision that doesn't require a military coup or NASA budget to function properly.
That's right. Visit Rolex Boutique rodeodrive.com and invest in reliability that doesn't depend on other people doing their jobs.
Plus, Dave's spacesuit makes every watch look like mission critical equipment. Very lunar module control panel energy.
That's right. Form fitting suits are my thing, Lane. And
I've noticed, Dave, sometimes without a suit on, or just a bathing suit.
actually, the look I was going for,
Birthday suit is next.
exactly.
All
What
right.
happened on July 20th, 2021?
Oh, well, yes, a giant phallic event. Jeff
Oh,
Bezos.
yes, Jeff Bezos' rocket.
Is it Bezos or Bezos? Whatever.
You say potato.
July 20th, 2021, Mr. Amazon successfully flies to space aboard his Blue Origin rocket, making what he called a significant milestone in commercial space travel. 52 years to the day after Apollo 11.
That's right. And because he was a Prime member, he didn't have to pay for shipping. And Gen Z processes this completely differently than previous generations.
Oh, you think so, huh, Dave? Well, tell me why.
Oh, yes. Gen Z looks at Bezos going to space and thinks, congratulations, you used the wealth extracted from exploiting workers to buy a really expensive rocket ship carnival ride while the planet burns. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, that's remarkably direct. And I can't argue with that. So, where older generations might see space exploration, Gen Z sees wealth inequality with a rocket attached.
That's right. It goes up, it comes down, it goes nowhere. Gen Z inherited a world where billionaires can fund private space programs, but somehow we can't fund public education. And they're not impressed by the engineering, they're appalled by the priorities.
Yep. It's like Gen Z learned the Apollo 11 lesson about what's possible when society commits resources, and they're asking, so why are we committing resources to billionaire joyrides instead of climate solutions?
Yeehaw! Let's light this candle and go! Gen Z doesn't see Bezos' flight as inspiring. They see it as evidence that we have the technology to solve massive problems, but we're using it to satisfy rich people's ego trips instead.
Those are big trips. Yeah.
Big trip.
They're the, the generation that looks at commercial space travel and thinks, cool,
Yeah.
now do commercial healthcare for everyone who can't afford insulin, please.
I want a tax break instead. Gen Z weaponized their knowledge of what's technologically possible to demand explanations for what's politically chosen, and they're remarkably unimpressed by expensive distractions. Except if it's a Rolex from Geary's, yeah!
So, July 20th shows us three different relationships with human potential.
Gen X learned that incredible achievements don't guarantee continued competence. Millennials discovered that knowing what resistance looks like doesn't mean it'll happen. And Gen Z refuses to be distracted by expensive spectacles when basic problems remained unsolved, like the pothole in front of my house.
From technological cynicism to institutional disappointment to resource allocation outrage, each generation developed better tools for recognizing when society is choosing badly.
Except I'll tell you, I do like pulling into a parking spot where the meter's broken.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks to Geary's Rolex Boutiques for sponsoring a show about time with products that maintain their value better than most institutions maintain their integrity. Pow! Visit Rolex Boutique rodeodrive.com for Swiss reliability.
And if July 20th's lessons about human potential and its misuse resonated with you, like and subscribe and send us a voice memo about a time when you realized that we can't afford it really meant we choose not to prioritize it.
Yeah, and that tin can sitting next to Lane says so, our animatronic answering machine, will process your story, hopefully, and unlike most leaders, it'll actually respond when called upon. Isn't that right, says so?
That's right.
Thank you.
Dave, you look amazing in that outfit.
That's
You're
my
looking more like me every day.
okay. Shut him up.
Until next time, this has been Touring History X, Y, and Z.
Reaching for the stars in your own private rocket is humanity's greatest achievement. Oh, that's not right. And avoiding basic responsibility is our most consistent follow up.
That spacesuit is really working for you, Dave. Very disappointed astronaut energy.
Wait till you see what I get on tomorrow. Ha! Your
Woo!
we may have several problems.
Oh, see you tomorrow, everybody.